we hope you like this video. Just subscribe, like, and click the bell to be notified of more content just like this. Chris, hello. My name's Rob. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Rob. Can you see me?
I can see you. You're looking fantastic. Can you? You can sing, obviously.
Yeah.
How good? No, obviously
not. I don't consider myself a singer, but I can sing. My sister's a singer.
I know. I was going to say.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's a singer, but I can sing.
When she was small, could she always sing? Was she just like the best singer in the class and all that kind of thing?
She's always been a great singer. My parents were both music teachers,
Mm.
so we've been involved with performing and singing and dancing and acting since we were really young. And look at that.
Oh, brilliant!
That's
Fantastic.
me. And she'll come up in a second. That's her.
That is brilliant.
We were jamming out when we were young.
That's
fantastic. Yeah, the Williams band. Anyway, so
that's
yeah. She my parents were both music teachers, and they were always in Baroque choirs and performing and singing, and we were required to take an instrument through high school. So my parents said that I chose the oboe in 3rd grade. There's no way I chose the oboe. and my sister was French horn. So their philosophy was if we can get them to learn the hardest instruments, then anything else after that would be easy.
It must have been a nightmare getting in the car or on the school bus with the oboe. French horn.
Oh, you're thinking bassoon.
A bassoon, right? What's an
oboe? Oboe looks like a clarinet, but with a double reed.
Yeah, nice.
Sounds like a duck. Yeah, but I did in high school. I ended up switching and playing saxophone, and I was playing baritone saxophone, and I was really small as a kid, so carrying around this giant saxophone that was almost my size, it was great. And I was in marching band as well.
I was watching. I feel like a stalker when I do these things because obviously, I mean, the first question I've got to ask you: what is plant of the day? What is flower of the day?
Oh, so I have my parents. Once again, they love gardening, and since I've gotten my own place, I grow everything, and I have. So I usually have one of my flowers, and I have roses. I have you name it.
Beautiful.
Fruit trees and bougainvillea and all kinds of stuff. I've been in serious house renovations in the past year and a half, so my garden has been a little bit neglected. But I would post on my Instagram a flower pick of the day because people love my flowers. So it's either flowers, food, my dog, or travel.
I want to ask you about travel in a minute. Tell me about. I was laughing. I saw an interview with you today. Tell me about Whoosh.
Oh, you mean my Georgetown? Yeah, so I went to Georgetown University.
Explain it to us.
Okay, so in the States, I guess you would do that basketball is a thing. Anyway, so I went to Georgetown University, which is a big basketball school, and I was a cheerleader for 3 years at Georgetown.
I've got to ask about that in a minute. Tell me about Whoosh first, but I was like, what a cheerleader. To us, you see, we've got visions of Glee and things like this, cheerleading and all this kind of thing. So I'm a cheerleader, and I was going, I've got to ask him about that. What's that all about?
Yeah, so basically, we sit on the sidelines. The girls have pom-poms. The boys had megaphones, and we cheer for the team, like the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. But but we would do stunts and stuff. So this is the best part of being a cheerleader is the fact that go to all the games. I was going to yell and scream anyway, at the players and at the refs. I had front row seats, and I got to put my hand on a woman's behind on national TV, and that was like the greatest thing in the world. And not have her slap it away. So
hilarious. So Whoosh, go on, tell me about Whoosh.
Oh yeah, so Duke University is one of our rivals that I can't stand Duke because they beat us one year. And there's a thing when they make a free throw, you hold your hands up like this, and then when they make it, you go whoosh. So I when I was the first black male cheerleader at Georgetown, and I figured I'd leave something for my legacy. And so now, for the past 33 years, whenever they make a free throw, they go whoosh, and that's all because of me.
Fantastic. Also, do you know, I was watching, that was a good old fight with David Duchovny, wasn't it, in Californication?
Yeah.
And of course,
right in the...
no, I might have known because you're a Taekwondo man, aren't you?
Yes. You've done your research.
No, I just like watching. Always interested.
Yeah, I have my fourth degree in Taekwondo and Hapkido. So yeah, that's one of the only times I've gotten to use my, at least, punching something, and I got to punch David Duchovny in the nether regions.
Yeah. I tell you what, was good shot was when he actually hit you back. There was a good sort of like a really good, I like that.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Okay, travel as well. Tell me about Florence.
Well, I've been to 51 countries.
Wow.
I was trying to get to 100, and of course, I haven't flown anywhere this year, which is driving me absolutely bananas.
Wow.
It's been just crazy. I mean, I haven't flown. I mean, I usually fly back to New York at least 4 or 5 times a year, and because my family's I'm from there, my family's there, and then I'll usually take a trip here and there, Chicago, and I usually take 2 or 3 trips out of the country just to get my countries up and to see. I love travel, but I haven't had a chance to do anything, obviously with the pandemic. And it's been, one thing I love about travel is the fact that it gives you a sense of your home when you're away someplace. I appreciate my home more when I'm away.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, for instance, a great example for me, and what brings me so much joy is, like, I was by myself walking in Copenhagen what was that? What was that? March? In like March, walking in Denmark, in Copenhagen, with a banana and Nutella crepe that I just got off the street, and just walking, and could not have been happier because people were home working or doing something else, and I'm walking around Copenhagen eating a delicious thing and looking at all people are the same. People don't realize that people are the same all over the world.
I agree with
we just have slight differences.
Yeah, I agree with this.
We all cry, we're all sad, we all laugh, we do so many different things. And just like, it's the same thing with food. I mean, I love food, and trying something that I would not have normally, I wouldn't even have an access to here, is so important. And that's why I try to stress to people to travel as much as possible, because then you get to see that people are the same everywhere. They're really the same. We just may look different or speak differently, but we're all human beings, and it really gives you a sense of place of who you are when you get to see people. So when I was walking in Copenhagen, I'm seeing thousands of people that I will never see again. Most likely, but I just love experiences and people.
Fantastic.
And yeah, and then the culture, learning a new language. Or I studied abroad in Florence for a semester when I was in college, and that, and my parents were also big travelers. So for my high school graduation, I got a trip for 2 weeks in Japan.
Wow.
Which was enlightening. And ever since then, travel has been my number, like my best expense, so to speak. I'll save up to travel all the time.
I had this conversation with, I can't remember who it was the other day, and we've just, as a family, just returned from the Middle East. We were 11 years in Dubai.
Oh wow! I've been to Dubai.
Yeah, so my 3 children, they didn't grow up in England; they grew up in Dubai. But then we had the chance from Dubai to go to Oman, Kuwait. My wife she's a teacher. She took the schools to Vietnam, to Nepal. My daughter went to Tanzania, and it's just the amazing
Can I hang
thing.
with your wife?
Pardon?
Can I hang with your wife if she's traveling all those places?
Yeah.
I'll go.
Well, we were talking about, she said her friend teacher left Dubai and went to live in Vietnam. Anthony Bourdain, who I love, sadly died. The chef. His favorite place is Vietnam. My wife loves Vietnam, and I think travel. I think what you say is so true, because people go, "Oh my, the Middle East! Oh my God!" But of course, we've got sort of Iranian friends and Iraqi friends, and do you know what? People are people.
Exactly. They're like, "Aren't you scared about going to Dubai?" I'm like, "Why would I be scared?" Right, exactly. And I would love to go to Iran.
Yeah.
I mean, I have many Persian friends, and it's supposed to be unbelievably beautiful, and the food, and yeah, it's just, I think travel is so important for people. And most Americans, well, thing about the Europeans also is there's so many different cultures that are immediately within 2 hours of a drive or a flight. You can go from Sweden to Italy to Poland. Everything is right there. So you're more used to seeing an entirely different culture, where in America, it's just so big and people don't like leaving their homes and they're scared. And it really saddens me that people don't get a chance to experience other things. And like, you've never had Italian food unless you've been to Italy. You have no idea how delicious pasta can be unless you've been, oh my God. And within that realm, there's a different north and the south. There's a difference between the pastas or the foods, or it's just, but people also take their local ingredients that, like, I'd never had a blood orange. I didn't even know what a blood orange was. And in Italy, I was like, this is the greatest thing. And it looks like blood. It's like, this is the greatest thing ever. So just experiences and travel is so important to people. And yeah, I love it so much.
I mean, obviously the pandemic has shut down. What's on your hit list, travel wise? Is there somewhere you desperately want to go that you haven't been?
Yeah. So Vietnam was one of the big ones.
Yeah.
I like to go to the Philippines. I like to go to Turkey. And so what I try to do is I try to, if I've hit a region, like the next year, I'll try to hit someplace entirely different. So the last New Year's of last year, I was on Easter Island.
Wow.
Which is the most remote island in the world. And it's a 5-hour flight from Chile and a 5-hour flight from the nearest, I think it's some South Pacific island. But it is like a small island in the middle of nowhere. And I wanted to bring in with the Moai, and I wanted to bring in New Year's there. So I try to go away for New Year's and Christmas. And it also regenerates me to, when I come back, I feel, it's a weird feeling. I feel almost cleansed when I get away and I experience a new culture and I always try to learn the new language, or at least say thank you, counting, where's the like basic things. So I'll study up on, the local cultures and that kind of stuff before I go, and get restaurants, where the chefs eat before I go, and like, and really try to embrace whatever culture I'm being a part of. I'm a guest in, to not be an ugly American, first of all. Like, we are so hated all over the world right now of being stupid and all that kind of stuff. So it always, I try to represent my country as best as I can, and represent myself and represent my race too, because a lot of people have not experienced what an African-American man is like, because they see the TV or they see the movies, and just like with Dubai, they think it's in the Middle East and people are going to come and shoot them and cut their heads off. I mean, Dubai is basically Vegas on steroids in the desert. I mean,
they won't thank you for saying it, but it is.
But the only thing about Dubai that I didn't that I didn't embrace was there is no history. No history. I'm big into, like, when I went to Egypt, you can viscerally feel.
There's a pyramid over there and another one over there. Yeah.
But you can like, people have been there for thousands of years. You can feel like, oh wow, this is old. Like, even, and like in Italy, walking around and go, oh, that's 1800 or 800. And here we're like 1776. Like, that's nothing compared to the Battistero and Florence, which is built brick by brick. It's just such a difference.
I agree
But I
with
love
you.
embracing culture.
I agree with you totally. Dubai, absolutely nailed on. But you're lucky devil in the sense of all places to go and study. I mean, we will talk about film and whatever. I mean, Florence, it's arguably one of the most beautiful places in the world, without question. You walk around like feel like you're in a film just being there.
So Georgetown owns a villa in Fiesole, which is 7 kilometers outside of Florence. And so I got accepted in this program. And so there's only 12 students in this whole villa. We studied art, architecture, history, Italian, and philosophy. So I remember as a junior in college and opening the door to this villa and walking through the orange grove. They have an orange grove there and the lemon grove, and looking out above Florence, because it's Fiesole is up on a hill and Florence is down there. And it was 9 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning, and there was a mist over Florence, and the only thing that you could really see was the Duomo. And I looked at it, and I get chills thinking about it now. And I said to myself, "Oh, I get why the Renaissance started here. I get it. Look at this. You can't look. You would want to recreate this. It's so
unbelievable,
viscerally beautiful. And the food and the culture, and looking at Masaccio's triptych in the church that it was made, and just mind blowing." So I went back. I've been back twice, and my first marathon was the Rome Marathon.
No.
Yeah. So I trained for the marathon, and I started at the Forum Coliseum, Spanish Steps, the fountain, around the Vatican, and all the way ended at the Coliseum, 45 kilometers and 7 kilometers of cobblestones.
Wow. Yes, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. But running through that antiquity and running through that history, I just soak it. I think I love it.
Next time you go to Rome, right? I've been a sports presenter most of my life, all of my life virtually, and so I've been lucky enough to travel with various football matches and whatever to all kinds
fantastic.
Which is great. But there's one of the journalists here. He said to me, "When you go to Rome, stay in the Forum Hotel." So I went, okay. So my mate, who's a cameraman, booked the Forum Hotel for his wife, my wife, the four of us. And a Forum Hotel, we have a saying over here, it does exactly what it says on the tin. As in, the Forum Hotel, you got the Colosseum on the left, about 100 yards. You've got the Forum, it is honestly, and they've got a roof terrace. Not that expensive. Not just a sort of like a normal. But you know what? You sit there and just go, "Oh my God."
Exactly.
It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Forum Hotel.
Okay, I'll remember the next time I go there. I'll remember that.
Listen, Upload.
Yes. Upload was
suddenly they're aging you. They're turning you into a dad. I wouldn't be happy about that. Come on.
Well, the funny thing about that is I auditioned for that in December of 2017.
Wow.
Believe it or not. And it was for a 65-year-old father of a 20-something-year-old. And I mean, I'm 53 and feasibly could have a 25-year-old. That's not, but I don't have any kids. So I still feel like I'm 13-year-old because I have a huge TV and a pinball machine. So I went in for the audition and was playing an older man, lawyer, father. And I was like, okay, let me go in for the audition. So I put some, and I'm dying in the show. So I put some makeup on of like, I look old and tired. I'm coughing, and I just went in. I just went in the audition and did it. And when I got it, I was like, I got it. I didn't know if I should be offended or like, oh, I mean, I want to work, but I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm in a new category now. So we shot the pilot in here in LA in January of 2018, and then and Andy is a beautiful young woman. She's a superstar. She's totally talented. And I was just praying to myself. I said, since I don't have any kids, it's like, just don't be attracted to her. Just don't be attracted to her. I mean, so we established a good friendship, and it was great because I'm like, you are my daughter and nothing else. And so when we did the scenes together, I mean, it was, she's such a wonderful, easy to work with actress. It was so great. And then we shot our scenes, and it's funny on Upload. If you've seen the series, it's a comedy. It's Greg Daniels who did all The Office and Parks and Rec and all that stuff. But all my scenes, especially in the first episode, were all dramatic. I'm dying. I'm talking about my wife. All dramatic scenes. I thought it was a drama. I'm like, it's a comedy. I'm like, that's weird. I mean, because hadn't read the script. You know, they kept it really tight and I was like, and I was reading it because I read the sides. So I was like, this is like a drama. But I was like, okay, well, I don't wonder how they're going to do this. So we shot the pilot in January of 2018. Then we waited. And we waited almost a year before Amazon picked it up. And then we shot the series in March, April, May of 2019. And then all the special effects and stuff, it didn't come out till May 2020. So, and it's funny looking at it. And I was also in Vancouver, which I love Canada, and traveling. We shot in Vancouver. I was eating like a monster. So, you know, to be not bigger, but to look more dad bod-ish or whatever. And now I look at it, I was like, you've got to do something about that. You've got to do. So I spent all of COVID, you know, I lost 17 pounds working out every day in COVID trying to.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, oh, because it came out in May and I was like, oh no, you can't look like that. There's no way. Like, every time I watch Upload, I'm going, look at that stomach. Look at that stomach. You gotta. So
listen, obviously we can, you know, dodgeball and everything like this, but what's coming up? How does it work now? I mean, obviously COVID's in the way, but is there anything in the pipeline for you, or how does it work?
Well, we're doing Zoom auditions now, or callbacks or something, and a lot of it is putting yourself on tape as well. So I have a whole setup now where I do my auditions from here and I send them in. But it's been a real challenge because I had a Zoom callback for a Disney Plus show, Disney movie of the week, and in the middle of my audition, a chemistry read, my mic goes out. So, and I'm like, you know, and then, you know, it's technical difficulties and if you were in the room, you're just talking to someone and you can really see chemistry. So it's been a little challenging with the, you know, new protocols that are involved with, you know, Zoom and everything online, and people, you know, not, and people casting from a tape or through Zoom. So it's been pretty tricky. So I don't have anything right now. I did a web series with some friends of mine in March that came out, but I've been just looking for work now and auditioning for stuff and been close on some stuff, but I'm just waiting for my next opportunity. And also COVID and the quarantine, it's helped me also start working on my own things. I'm writing a script for myself, a TV series, and I'm excited about that. And it also teaches you got to be self-sufficient. You got to, you know, you can't wait for things to come around, because it's been tough for everybody. And I think Upload has got a second season, and I believe we're coming back in January to film again up in Vancouver. So I'm excited and looking forward to that. I have no idea how involved I'm in it, or, you know, what's going to happen, but that's what I'm excited about. That's coming up.
Like Upload and the part you play, and I mean, you are associated with pretty much comedy roles, and, you know, various television series you've done. It's something like Upload. Do people look at you as slightly differently and go, hey? I mean, I can see a sort of a casting director go, hey, we need this guy. Oh, okay, we'll get Chris. Whereas something like Upload, do other people look at you then?
It's interesting because I've not tried to, but it just so happens that I have really looked different in most of my roles that you wouldn't necessarily recognize me from, like the World's Fastest Indian.
Yeah, no, I heard you talk about. I mean, that's incredible.
And So, and like in Crazy Eyes Killer
Tell
from
us,
Curb Your
briefly about.
Enthusiasm, and I played a crackhead in Friday After Next,
Yeah.
and I'm known for doing a variety of different things. So, and I've done drama before. I mean, I've known for a lot of comedy, but uh, like this was Ugly Betty with my sister. That's
Brilliant.
scary, huh?
Brilliant.
That's scary. So,
Brilliant.
a lot of times people don't know really what to do with me since I can do so many things. So it's a blessing and a curse. Like I can't be pigeonholed. If you need a villain.
Yeah, let me phrase it differently. If you had a chance coming out of COVID that you wanted to go in a certain direction, or you wanted to play a certain type, what would it be? Ideally, what would it be?
I want to play a villain. I was in a show. I did a movie called Swedish Auto where I played a real asshole, and I played an asshole before on Monk and this, that, and the other. But I want to play a villain that you love to hate. I would I would love to be like just hated and like, oh, I hate him, and just really get in there and just, but be a likable, because like that, you don't play being a villain. You play the truth to what the character, what the person is, and they just so happen not align with what you want. It's about what they want and what they will do to get it. And the more that you can show the humanity of a villain, and the better it is, because you don't want to like a villain. But if you kind of like him and understand where he's coming from, it makes it even more heart-wrenching when you hate him even more, because he's affecting things that you like. So I would really love to play a villain, to play someone who's, just vicious, or a villain. Whether it be comic, I would like to play a dramatic villain.
Yeah. Why don't you say to your agent, hey, is there any chance of me doing a food and travel show?
Well, actually, I had a food and travel show that I was pitching with my sister, and called Sibling Revelry. And it was a food and travel show that we've been trying to get off the ground, but it's we both got TV series. We pitched it, the idea. We both got TV series at the same time, and things swept away from that. And I'd like to come back to it, but it's a great idea of basically a competition between siblings, and it's and we both love to travel as well. So I do want to do a food and travel. And if you can find someone else to pay for your travel and your food, that's the ideal job. That would be the ideal. And if it involves sports, that would be even better.
Yeah, but it also gives you another thing when people turn up and go, hey, Chris Williams is doing a food show. What? Oof. And away with your knowledge, and even your enthusiasm, your passion for your travel, just what you've said there. Wow, mate.
Yeah, I'd love to be the next Anthony Bourdain. I would. That'd be a fantastic opportunity to live how he. What I loved about Bourdain was the fact that he was so engaged with whatever the culture was, and bringing people into his fold and giving them the same passion that he had for food and travel. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to do that.
Listen, I've got to ask you one. Hang on, I've got to ask you one. And it is a food thing. Hang on a second. It is Poochie, the Wiener Circle. Does that exist?
Yeah, it does in Chicago. Yes, and she was on The Great Indoors.
Does she actually abuse me? The scene was brilliant, but then I saw a piece where she's actually. Tell me about that.
Yeah, she was. Which was funny. Which was really, so before I go to Chicago every year. I was on a charity in Chicago for kids, and I would go to Chicago every year. And the family that I would go with, we would of course go to eat, because Chicago is great for eating. And we went to the Wiener Circle, and they'd be yelling at people, and they talked about my friend like you short little you whatever, and saying that. And then when we did the Great Indoors, and I heard they were bringing her to come and be on the show, she's one of the sweetest women, and since she wasn't an actress, so I kind of worked with her as an actor, work with her on her lines and this and the other, and kind of let her be comfortable enough to go off, and she was great, and she did a really great job too on the show.
Brilliant.
Really great. Yeah.
She did. Hey, do you know what? It's
Yeah.
been absolutely lovely talking to you.
Yes,
and
indeed.
I'm going to be and travel related. I'm sure it'll be absolutely brilliant, whatever you do. But take care of yourself, and thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Brilliant. Chris, take care of yourself, my friend.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Cheers.